Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Tonight, we are talking about the Nancy Guthrie case out of Pima County, Arizona. And guess what? There is a lot of stuff breaking today about the hair that was found by the FBI. Well, it's a lot more complicated than you might think. Also, remember Carlos? Well, he is now suing Pima County, and Sheriff Nanos comes out and says nobody is cleared. Some new interviews, a lot of stuff crack-a-lackin'. We got to talk about all of that and a lot more on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face. They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me judged by the gloss, not the cause, but God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm in a breakable storm, dressed in truth and the fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and heard, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fire and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my blood, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Let's go.
Hold up, lights on, chat in the room, another late night, and another headline blooming. Coffee gone cold, but the story got heat, and one little detail keep tapping my screen. Coming in clutch, when the timeline bends, we don't just scroll, we connect loose ends. Somebody said nah, that's probably enough, but the chat said Justin, we're coming in clutch. Run that back, don't rush that part. Something felt wrong from the very first start. Different day, same shaky excuse, and the math ain't mathing when we check the proof. I'm not here to play detective for fame, I'm here when the story starts changing names. One clip, one call, one post too much, and the whole room knows we're coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, yeah, the facts stay loud. Truth don't hide when we bring the crowd. Screens lit up and the chat don't sleep. We dig real deep where the stories get steep. Pearls in the chat, lights in the back. Somebody better explain why the story went flat. You can dodge one question, maybe dodge two, but the internet clock, what you said don't cue. Wait. Say that again, you said it was there, then it wasn't back then. You said you forgot, but the record got saved. Now the chat's wide awake and the room just changed.
Coming in clutch when it all gets strange, when the facts get buried and the tone starts change. We don't need drama, the truth does enough, that's why they pull up, we're coming in clutch.
Late night crew, yeah, we built this thing. One live stream turned to a whole damn ring. Members in green miles holding it down. Whole chat moving like a small town crowd. No fake hype, no lazy spin, just one more clue and we're back again. If it don't sit right, we don't let it slide. We put the detail right up on live.
Coming in in clutch. Say it one more time. Whole room locked on the very next line. From the first red flag to the final touch, you know where to be, we're coming in clutch.
When the screen fades out and the night gets still, somebody somewhere knows truth comes real. We'll be right here when the next facts drop. Coming in clutch and we don't just stop.
Chicken. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you all so very much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is July 30th, 2026. It is currently 7:05 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Tonight, we are talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. Lots of things coming out today. Wow, lots of things. With the DNA, that hair that was found, that the FBI found, in a lot of hope on that little hair, that single hair there. And guess what? 4 DNA with it. We're going to get into that. Carlos and others are suing Pima County, and it's getting messy. But Sheriff Nanos is holding his ground and saying, nope, no, everyone's still a suspect. What does he mean by everyone is still a suspect? Does he mean, well, I mean, is he saying including the family in that? What, Sheriff Doofy here, who knows what the hell he's talking about. All right, guys, before we get started, if you would be so kind and please do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up button, would greatly appreciate it. And if you would, or double tap the screen if you're on the mobile device, and if you would consider sharing this live stream out, hit that share button, copy that link, drop it in any of your favorite social media. And on YouTube, if you would consider hyping this video. On YouTube, you get 3 hypes a week. If you don't use it, you lose it. They're absolutely free, and you have to do it on your mobile device, your phone or your tablet after the live stream. Thank you so much, Quietly, for stay hydrated. Thank you, baby. Really appreciate that. Very kind of you. So good to see you, my friend. Clippy, thank you for the gold coin. Appreciate you, my love. Good to see you. Miss HC coming in clutch with the sunshine. Thank you, baby. Good to see you, my friend. And Lisa K, thank you for the clutch. Honey. Appreciate you. Jennifer, thank you for the clutch, darling. Appreciate you very much. And Miss HC, thank you for the makeup brush, baby. Appreciate you very much. Good to see everyone in chat. Hey, Miss Catherine, thank you for your Sunday, my dear. Appreciate you very much. I don't even know where to start. Also, they did a Luke Daley warrant for his DNA recently. We're back in May. And to me, it's even more interesting that they did it in May. We've got the receipts on that. Also, someone sent me some pictures over at Annie's, and they were like, were they digging up something in their yard? I don't know if it's, I want to see what chat has to say. I'm not saying that they were digging up anything in their yard. I don't know if it's rocks. I don't really know how like the dirt looks there in Pima County. I'm not from that part of the United States, and I want to see what you guys have to say. Is it rock, or were they actually digging up something, or whatever? So we're going to go over all of that. A lot to go over this evening. Sheriff Nanos, guess what? Doing an interview with CBS. He's finally sitting down to talk after 6 months of pretty much, he interviews with who the hell he wants, I guess. Hey, Ice and Fire, good to see you. Thank you for the gold coin, babe. Appreciate you very much. That's okay, Jennifer. It happens, girl. It happens. Okay, guys, y'all ready for this? Let's get it started. CBS coming out with an interview on Sheriff Doofy. Y'all ready?
It's probably a combination.
Okay, listen to what he says here, because this is going to be very important, very important for later. Listen to what he says. right? Yeah.
Know what that DNA is? Is it blood? Is it fluid? Is it hair? Is it a fingerprint? Can you give us that guidance just for our own reporting accurately?
What I can tell you is that it's probably a combination of all of that. But what I would tell you is that I think there was some mention from the FBI about a hair that was found in having it DNA.
This is today. I guess he did this today, this right here.
So we gather all this DNA from all types of sources, and it's given to who? Oh, Sheriff's Department, you handle the DNA, forensics for cameras and that, FBI, you handle it. That was just a sharing of responsibilities for resources.
So this DNA is likely blood and possibly hair.
Well, the hair sample, so if you know anything about DNA, which I don't, others have had to tell me, hair is very rare to find DNA in, extremely rare. But we did have hair. So the FBI said, hey, we got somebody out here that has a new technology, hey, give it to them, because it wasn't on our priority. When we prioritize DNA, we go, what's the best DNA we have in front of us? The hair would be one of the lowest ones. Blood or semen or whatever you've got, that would be probably higher because of its probability of identification. But we said, absolutely, you can help us take that.
Is the hair still viable today? Is that still being...
It came back with no results.
No results. Yeah. You said blood and semen.
Yeah.
Was there blood that is still being analyzed right now that could belong to the suspect or suspects?
I know that there was blood at the scene, and so that was also part of the processing of the scene.
Okay, I'm gonna put that one more time, and then we're gonna go through it. I just want to.
Do we know what that DNA is? Is it blood? Is it fluid? Is it hair? Is it a fingerprint? Can you give us that guidance just for our own reporting accurately?
What I can tell you is that it's probably a combination of all of that. But what I would tell you is that
so multiple, which we know they've had multiple types of DNA since jump. Yes, it's not been anything.
I think there was some
new
mention from the FBI about a hair that was found in having it DNA.
Now, the hair was found by the FBI after Sheriff Doofy here cleared the scene, and the FBI, like a day and a half or maybe 2 days later, took over and back in to see if they could find anything. The FBI is the one that found the hair, okay?
So we gather all this DNA from all types of sources, and it's given to who? Oh, Sheriff's Department, you handle the DNA, forensics for cameras and that, FBI, you handle it. That was just a sharing of responsibilities for resources.
So this DNA is likely blood and possibly hair.
Well, the hair sample, so if you know anything about DNA, which I don't, others have had to tell me, hair is very rare to find DNA in, extremely rare. But we did have hair. So the FBI said, hey, we got somebody out here that has a new technology.
Well, the hair, they're talking about having 4 types of DNA on it. Thank you so much, Simply Lynn. Appreciate you very, very much, which is what we're going to get into.
Hey, give it to them, because it wasn't on our priority. When we prioritize DNA, we go, what's the best DNA we have in front of us? The hair would be one of the lowest ones. Blood or semen or whatever you've got,
not linked to suspect.
That would be probably higher because of its probability of identification. But we said, absolutely, you can help us take that.
Is the hair still viable today? Is that still being...
It came back with no results.
No results. Yeah. You said blood and semen.
Generally.
Was there blood that is still being analyzed right now that could belong to the suspect or suspects?
I know that there was blood at the scene, and so that was also part of the processing of the scene.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go back to talk more about that DNA because it's very, very important. Thank you very much, Shelly. Very kind of you. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much, my dear. Good to see Miss Shelly. And thank you, Simply Lynn. Appreciate you very much again, my dear. Okay, here we go. So hair found in Nancy Guthrie's home not linked to suspect in abduction. I don't know, guys. It's kind of discouraging, but Sheriff Doofy, why is it not sharing? Sheriff Doofy the other day, he said that he thinks this will be resolved soon. Hair found in Nancy Guthrie's home and not linked to suspect in abduction. Sheriff. Testing on hair found in the Tucson, Arizona home of the Today Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother is complete and does not point to a suspect in the 84-year-old's abduction. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos told ABC News on Thursday. Now, get this. The other day, what was it? Day before yesterday, I was talking about, if you guys were here, you will remember, I said, you guys cannot tell me that they have not got back these results on those hairs yet. And then today, it rolls around. Out in the news, nothing here. All of this DNA, I don't believe for a second, all of this DNA, they absolutely have to have back by now. You can't tell me it's been 6 months and the FBI doesn't know and these other labs. Come on now. Yeah. Of course. Absolutely. It's me. Thank you so much for the brush, baby. Appreciate you very, very much. Good to see you, love. Okay. Now, let's continue on that. The hair is done and there was nothing, end quote, Nanos said in an interview. Now, remember, that was a rootless hair. You know, it can take time, but it's harder to do with hairs. There's just a few maybe laboratories in the United States that can do it. I'm sure the FBI can do it. But whose hair was it? That's what I want to know. Whose hair was it, right? You know, if it's somebody's hair got to be there. That leaves a mixed sample of DNA retrieved from Nancy Guthrie's home as the only known piece of biological evidence and the one that has so far been affirmatively linked to a suspect. The sample is a mix of as many as 4 people. 4. The sheriff revealed. It's not clear the technology even exists yet to untangle it, though the sheriff said multiple labs across the country are trying, including the FBI in Quantico, Virginia, a lab in Kansas, Florida, California, and Arizona. Quote, my understanding is there is at least 5, maybe 6 labs across the country that are working on this, Nanos said. We have some of the brightest minds in the nation, if not the world, working on this. Investigators believe Nancy was taken from her home in the early morning hours, and 6 months later, Nanos is unable to say whether the masked man was walking alone. Come on now, you know the hell they knew if that guy was walking alone or not. You're just not telling us. Nay, is what you're not doing. I don't think anybody's ready to say it's 1 guy or it's 10 guys, Nanos said. Did he have help? Could have. Yeah, that's profound of you, Sheriff Nanos. Nanos still believes the case is solvable, and he applauded Savannah Guthrie for keeping it in the spotlight through her Instagram posted a week ago. Somebody in our community, somebody out in this world knows something. Call us, tell us, give us the information. Somebody knows where Nancy is. We need their help, the sheriff said. All right, guys, after knowing this, do you think we are any closer to finding Nancy, or are they just keeping it very hush-hush about it? What is this? Let's look at. Okay, we're going to go to Fox 10 on this, and then we're going to get into the deepest stuff today. Here we go.
Well, good
Watch
afternoon,
that.
everyone. The search for missing Tucson woman Nancy Guthrie is nearing the 6-month mark.
Today, investigators tell us critical work is still being done behind the scenes. The Pima County Sheriff's Department, as well as the FBI, say a dedicated task force is conducting, quote, complex and time-intensive analysis on DNA and digital evidence. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie vanished from her Catalina Foothills home in the Tucson area in late January. Her family, including daughter Savannah Guthrie, continues pleading for answers. There is a reward of more than $1 million that is up for grabs. Anyone with credible information is urged to contact the FBI or 88 Crime. And coming up on later editions of Fox 10, including the news at 4.
Damn, they got that guy on there. I need to take him off. Oops. Okay, so let's go to, there is another interview that Sheriff Doofy sat down with Ford Hatchett. Now, we all remember Carlos. All of us remember Carlos. Well, he's suing them. Which, listen, if this guy has nothing to do with it, I don't blame him. I mean, a lot of people's, kind of thought of him. They've said a lot of different things about him, whether he might be a suspect or might not be a suspect. Carlos hasn't had as much attention as Luke, obviously, I think. But Carlos, he doesn't have much of a criminal history at all. Just came in. Are we talking? We're going to be getting to Ashley. We're going to be getting to that in just a minute. You don't think it's Carlos? I don't know. We're going to get to it in just 1 second.
They saw detained in February. Have they been completely ruled out at this point?
Nobody's completely ruled out. What it is,
Listen.
we took information, developed it for a warrant from a judge, a magistrate, and we served that
We took information. I'm just going to play it and then we'll go through it.
warrant. All the information we gathered is gathered, and because we didn't make an arrest or we released some people, doesn't mean they're cleared. It just means that we don't have enough now to hold you. We don't have it. The courts get to tell us that. And we release them, release their property back. But the evidence we've obtained, who knows, maybe a day from now, a month from now, a year from now, somebody might call in and say, oh, you missed this. And guess what? We'll go back. So, yeah.
Are you still actively looking into those individuals, or?
No, I wouldn't talk about that. Yeah, I can't talk about that.
The two folks we saw detained in February.
Here we go.
Have they been completely ruled out at this point?
Nobody's completely ruled out. What it is, we took.
Wait a minute. Nobody is completely ruled out? You said we should be ashamed of ourselves for talking about the family, talking about you going into Tommaso and Annie's home. You said we should be ashamed. You're the one doing it, not us. We're just talking about what y'all did. That's it. But now you're saying nobody is cleared out. Is it nobody except for the family? Well, you didn't say that. You said nobody is cleared, even after you said it fucking months ago. Hey, Suzy Q, thank you so much, babe. Appreciate your recent interview. Nano said no. Yes, exactly what we're playing here. Bingo. Does that include the family? Exactly. Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, make it make sense.
Information.
Listen,
developed it for a warrant.
Okay. Now, we were given information. And that information, we developed a warrant, right? Now, you got to have probable cause to get in there, right? And to be fair here, it was not just Pima County with some of these warrants, right? It was the FBI, the Attorney General as well, a judge, Pima County, the FBI. I still think, in my opinion, something there, and it's not just one thing generally that, that'll make a judge and a attorney general sign off. So what was this information? Were they just, pressed because this is such a high profile case and they went in there anyways with the limited maybe information they had? I don't know. But for the FBI to go in there, that's what really makes me start questioning things, right? So he says, we developed, how did he say it?
Developed it for a warrant. Information.
Hold on.
Information. Developed it for a warrant from a judge, a magistrate, and we served that warrant. All the information we gathered is gathered, and because we didn't make an arrest or we released some people, doesn't mean they're cleared. It just means that we don't have enough now to hold you.
Okay. It means we don't have it, which is true, right? They may not had enough that they felt comfortable to take that, and they may be working on something. They may have got what they got from those search warrants, and yes, it wasn't maybe enough they felt comfortable enough to arrest someone, and they could be collecting things the last few months to maybe even potentially do an arrest later if they are indeed suspects, which they have not been named suspects or anything of that nature, of course. But what is it? Now, Carlos, he's suing Pima County.
We don't have it. The courts get to tell us that, and we release them.
Hold
Release
on.
their property.
Hold on. What?
The courts get to tell us that, and we don't have enough now.
We don't have enough
to hold you. We don't have it. The courts get to tell us that.
Gotcha.
And we release them, release their property back, but the evidence we've obtained.
We release them, release their property back. Did you release all their property back? Because that's interesting, because I don't think you're going to be releasing all of their property back, in my opinion, if they were suspects, right? I don't think you would release all of their property. He didn't say all of their property. He just said we release their property back. You would be keeping some of that, in my opinion, right? What do you think, Chad? I've heard they still got Annie's car. I don't know. We're going to talk about Annie in a minute.
Who knows? Maybe a day from now, a month from now, a year from now, somebody might call in and say, "Oh, you missed this," and guess what? We'll go back.
Oh, you missed this.
Are you still actively looking into those individuals, or?
No, I wouldn't talk about that. Yeah.
Are you still actively looking into those individuals? Oh, I wouldn't talk about that. That's interesting. He might be saving to do that to save face. He might be saying that, but again, I wish this interviewer would have said, when they said, if he said everyone's still a suspect, I wish he would have asked, well, is the family, anybody in the family, still a suspect, right? Like, come on now, let's get with it. All right, so let's talk about this. Let's see here. Carlos. He is suing them. He is suing them for 2.5 million doll hairs, asking Pima County to pay up. According to ABC 15, Phoenix law firm has filed a notice of claim this week. It's a document that you have to file before you're suing the government. Ooh, am I still here? Okay. I thought my internet just went out. Oh, okay. Carlos says he was held for 7 or 8 hours just to be released without charges. Okay, it thinks this is a virus. Sorry. Every time I pull this up, my ad blocker thing's doing it. So thank you so much, my darling. Appreciate you, Rescue Dog Mama. Good to see you, babe. Thank you for the butterfly. Really appreciate you. And listen, Linda. Listen, Miss Linda. I love that little video of that little girl. 30 Jules. Thank you so much for the clutch, babe. Appreciate you. Until they arrest someone, everyone is a suspect. Hell, at this point, I might be Portugal. Oh my God. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't think he's the only one, though. There says 2 men. So I wonder if it's Carlos as well. The pair of men were arrested and then released in connection of Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. It's not clear whether the person of interest were detained in separate traffic stops on February 10th, about an hour south of Guthrie's home, and another on February 13th near her neighborhood in Tucson. Both were released after questioning and not charged with the disappearance of 84-year-old mother of the Today Show host, Savannah Guthrie. Apparently, those men are still on investigators' radar, Nano said in an ABC 15 released Thursday. Because we didn't make an arrest, here we go. It doesn't mean that they're cleared, he says. Did they release all of the ABC 15? Makes me wonder if they released it all. We will see here. We shall see. I'm trying to see if they released it all or not yet. Okay. Is Deb Long in chat? I'm not sure. Thank you so much, General. Good to see you. It's being reported that Annie is in Vermont now giving education lecture, same city, why, where brother lives. Well, I can tell you that it seems like she hasn't been home. She hasn't been home. And I want to show you a little something because I don't know what the dirt looks like there. Got some pictures that I want to show you guys. And you tell me, is this rocks? Is this dirt? What is it in her yard? In their yard? Someone went by there the other day. Someone emailed me these pictures. Let me see if I've got voices for the missing. You see this right up here? Is that dirt or is that stone? I don't know. I think it looks like rocks myself. Maybe it's LD and Kitty. The fuck is that? I don't know. I think it's like rocks, but what do y'all think? Looks like sandstone rock. I think it's some people think it looks like dirt. I think it's just rocks. I'm from Arizona. That's rocks. Yeah. I thought it would be really dry ground to be like that. So they were outside of their home, and again, they have not been here in months. And again, like, why? You would think that they would go back to living their life, right? I mean, how are they living if they're not in their house or whatever? You know what I mean? Here's more of an outside, but to me, that looks like rocks, if you ask me. Let's see here. Are they separated? I don't know. Nothing would surprise me. But to me, that looks like rocks. But some people think it looks like dirt. I think it's rocks myself. Probably a housekeeper coming by. That's what I did when I was gone for a month. I'm surprised they haven't like Airbnb'd it out or whatever. Don't you think? I think it's rocks. I'm pretty sure, in my opinion. Okay, so want to go to Ashley Banfield, guys. Remember, she was talking the other day about this young gentleman who kind of did this interview with what's his name, Sheriff No Nads. And here we go. Pop this up right here.
So did you get the feeling that he's answered physical evidence questions before, but suddenly you've asked those ones and he's all...
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, I people have asked him, I think you even might have asked him when you interviewed him with the flower pot stuff, right? Like he...
No, God.
No, you
Oh,
didn't.
you won't talk to me because I had an interview with him on day one, and after that, he hated me because I talked to his guys, and they said, we got our prime suspect and his brother-in-law, and he was so angry that...
She said, I talked to his guys, and they told me the prime suspect was the brother-in-law. Now, listen, Ashley would not make this up. She would never make this up. And I 100% believe her and her sources. And maybe they were. Maybe Tommaso was the suspect then. Why? You know what I mean? Very flashy screen for her. Sheriff No Nads always has a different hilarious name. Yeah, he's don't you think, like and he got mad, and then a couple days later that's when he's like, y'all should be ashamed of yourself. I think he's so proud that I don't know. So why would they stay in the house with all the attention and a disapproval of them? I'd say if she's working in Vermont, she is getting on with her life. Just saying. Fair. I mean, do you just pick up with your life and move? Is that what you do? I mean, I don't think YouTubers can be standing outside the home now or anything, right? From what I understand, I would not be surprised if all the people that we've seen get arrested in the end. She was right when she said the back door and back gate were propped open. She knew right from the start. Someone told her. She was absolutely right on it. Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate you. Yeah, they haven't been there in fracking months. Let me find this. I mean, just absolute months. Look at this. I mean, we've seen this photo, but damn. I'll just never get this out of my head. I'll never get it out of my head. Why would you do this? I'm behind, but Luke said he didn't have his phone yet, and so did his lawyer when they did those interviews. Yes, that is true. That is true. I was thinking that his attorney's been pretty quiet the last little bit. I don't know. I mean, like, to me, this is just very weird to do this. I don't know. Okay, here we go, y'all. Want to go with, let me find this right here. I'm going to go to Brian for this real quick. And here we go. Guys, if you're just joining us, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciate you all being here with us. Double tap that screen if you're on your mobile device. Yeah. I mean, they can change their suspects, as information comes in. But nobody can deny, my question would be for Sheriff Doofy. Okay, Sheriff Doofy, if, we should be ashamed of, asking the questions about you guys going into their home and taking their vehicle longer than anybody else's, searching in their neighbors' yards and their campers and their homes and all of that, then why were you doing that? Can you not place Annie and Tommaso at the house all night of them just the night this happened after they dropped Nancy back off? Why not? TC and AC are doing zero to help. This because they're not involved. No one presser in Tucson community help, but it's wild to help this because if they're not involved. Gotcha. Maybe
that things are sort of status quo, that they're still working hard. There's the task force. They're working around.
Of course they are.
The clock really still, but that there's still no suspects at this point. I have been trying to get an interview with the Pima County Sheriff, Chris Nanos. You guys might remember I did an interview with him early on in all of this and sort of had an open line of communication with him for a while, but I haven't had much luck getting an interview with him in the last couple of months. And his PR team at the sheriff's office, says that he's not doing any interviews right now, but then he will do interviews. He does interviews with one of the local TV stations quite a bit. And he actually just did an interview with a 17-year-old young man named Wyatt Sharp.
Okay. Do you guys think, in your opinion, do you think that they have suspects behind the scenes? Yes, put a 1 in chat. 2, no. 3, unsure. Or you can put yes, no, or unsure. And it will add it directly to that poll. I want to see what you guys are thinking on this. I can truly see both sides. I think they do, in my opinion. I feel like they do. I just think they're building stuff. But I don't know. And that's the thing, right? They could have a pretty good idea. But this is the thing. You can have I've talked to law enforcement and they can say, they've told me, Justin, we can know who did this, but knowing and proving something is 2 different things, right? We can know that this mofo did it, but we just don't have what it takes to get it over there, right? So there's that. Horsey, thank you so much, babe. Appreciate you. Yes, I believe they're suspect. Nanos lies. He thinks he's a big dog, and it's going to his head. He's, oh God, if the Arizona Attorney General, God, look into that. I'm telling you. Thank you so much, Horsey. Appreciate you, babe. Dolores, thank you so much, love. Appreciate you very much. Good to see you, Miss Dolores. And Kelly, thank you so much for the Sunday, love. Good to see you. Appreciate you very much. Did they arrest Luke again? They did not arrest him again. And I'm going to show you that warrant here in a minute. The question is, why another DNA warrant on Luke? He should be already in the system. He's a felon. Why are they getting his DNA again? Crickets.
Who has a show on YouTube called The Sharp Exchange. He's actually a Canadian journalist. You guys may have heard of him. He's really, really talented. He's a really, I hate to even call him a kid because he's a young man at this point, but he started sort of doing social media and doing interviews back when he was like 13, 14 years old, and he's now 17. And he managed to get an interview with Sheriff Nanos. And I don't know if the sheriff just thought he's a young man and whatever, but he actually, Wyatt asked really, really good, relevant, hard, legit questions. And so in a second.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason he took the interview with Wyatt is he thought, he's a 17-year-old little kid. Let's give him a cute little interview. Wyatt came in clutch, honey. He was asking some tough questions, and Nanos, you could tell he did not know what he was getting his ass into.
I'm going to get to, I've got other stuff I want to get to. I want to get to the latest on the Savannah message, and I want to get to my FBI profiler about why everything in Savannah's message he believes is specifically crafted and what he thinks it means in terms of what's happening behind the scenes. So I'm going to get to that a little bit later in the episode. But first, I kind of want to roll through a few of Wyatt's clips with the sheriff. And if you want to see Wyatt's full interview, you can look up the Sharp Exchange on YouTube. He has the full interview there posted, and he got a lot of information. But I want to play for you guys the things that stood out to me in his interview with Sheriff Nanos, now that we're almost at the 6-month mark since Nancy Guthrie went missing. And the first thing is he asked specifically about Kash Patel, FBI Director Kash Patel. And remember, there's been some disagreement between Kash Patel and Sheriff Nanos really since the beginning. And the latest was Director Patel telling Fox News that if they had been brought into the investigation earlier, remember, he claims that they were kept out of the investigation for the first 4 days or so. He's saying if they were brought in earlier, he thinks they could have retrieved more video. There was the Ring video from the front doorbell camera that the FBI was able to retrieve, but he believes they may have been able to retrieve more video if they were brought into the investigation earlier. The sheriff has said, wait a minute, we did have a representative from the FBI from the beginning, but Director Patel has stood by his claim that they were kept out. And it's interesting, Wyatt asked Sheriff Nanos about that, and the sheriff actually said that Director Patel has gotten bad information. Listen to this.
So I think that Kash, Director Patel, heard information early on that just was inaccurate, and he certainly doesn't owe me an explanation or a question or anything. He's the director of the FBI. But when the information is put out there that's not accurate, I think it helps, it hurts the case. And so individuals like yourself to come out and ask for accurate information from me, I never have a problem answering.
Okay, who do you believe? Do you think that if the FBI went in there sooner, they could have gotten more information, like more on the footage? I believe they could have. Time is of the essence. And the thing, the FBI was assisting you, Nanos. They were assisting you, and they were not there. He says untruth in this. He says they were there at the first press conference. They weren't with him at the first press conference. It was just him and one of his guys in the background in the first press conference. It was the second press conference that I remember the FBI being there. Even still, just because the FBI is there doesn't mean they're just there to assist. Nanos has to say, we need you to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. Right? And they'll do it gladly. But you have to order that, Nanos, for that to happen as well. D-Bass, thank you for the Eagle, babe. Appreciate you very much. Thank you for your support. Much appreciated, dear. Alumni, thank you for the clutch, Jewel. Appreciate you, babe. Good to see you. Thank you so much. And Magdalena, thank you for gifting pearl necklace. Appreciate you, my dear. Thank you so much. It's bricks. If you blow up, you can see the, exactly. Okay. All right, look at this.
Things in a different way. And I want to hear exactly what he thinks about the Savannah Guthrie video and what it means to the bigger investigation. Hey, Ray, it's nice to see you. I'm actually in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood right now. That's kind of what the backdrop is. I was curious. I wanted to talk to you about this new Savannah Guthrie video that came out. I learned that it was in coordination with law enforcement, which is really no surprise. The words seemed very sort of carefully chosen. What was sort of your overall takeaway?
The wording of her response appeared to be consistent with principles that I used in hostage negotiations. Now, I'm not saying that the Bureau was involved in doing this, but her message, it acknowledged receipt of communications. It didn't escalate tensions. It didn't make any threats. It didn't challenge the offender. It projected cooperation. And I think it left a lot of flexibility for law enforcement if they're listening. I'm not going to say that the FBI crafted this. It doesn't necessarily mean that the FBI wrote this statement, because it's an active kidnapping investigation. So when you have that, things like this are usually going to be closely coordinated with investigators.
What about the timing of it? Because, you know, Savannah has put out videos here and there, but there hasn't been one in a long time.
It's a really important time in the investigation. We are literally at the half-year mark. And you would think that they could have, if they didn't have anything in the last 6 months, right, that they would be willing to give more to the public if they were really looking for someone. I mean, they're still asking for tips. If you see something, say something, kind of jargon. But if they really needed more, don't you think that they would be giving it to us? Thank you, Lisa, for the unk. Appreciate you, babe. Good to see you, love. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your support.
And when she's talked about it a couple times on the Today Show, it was more just casual, you know, what she's going through. But as you said, this one, the wording seemed very specific. It seemed like it was deliberate, what she was trying to do. And do you think there's a reason that this was just put out now?
It could be coincidental, or it could have been planned.
Well, I mean, I think it had to have been planned if the guy was there on the 11th. But he might be talking about something else. Justin, when Savannah said we've done our part, does that mean a payment has been made? I don't know. You know, she says a very specific message. It could be interpreted as, yeah, we've done our part. I don't think it means we paid anyone, but we're willing to pay to get our mother back. You get what I mean? I don't think there's been any sort of transfer of money, because the ransom note came out. It said, you know, you've got 7 days max. We're cutting off ties right here, and that's it. You either give us the money in the Bitcoin, then he adds another day to it. So, I really don't know. I don't know. You could, and a lot of people thinks, you know, we've done our part means the family, and she was talking to Sheriff Nonads on that. So I really don't know. I really don't know.
That's a great question. It's anything I would tell you would just be speculation with that. But families sometimes use these public statements as kind of like a controlled communication channel, and the offender, and this usually happens when offenders, when the investigators believe that the offenders are listening to the media. So whether or not the intent was to publicly confirm that, it's very difficult to say.
She started out by saying, I have a very specific
Miss
message.
Kelly. Thank you, love. Appreciate it.
It almost like, you know, some of
Thank you, Miss Kelly.
I took that, and you tell me what you thought, but I took that as, you know, if you're the person out there, this is for you. This isn't just like my other messages where I'm just talking to everybody.
No, she was talking to the person she believed was responsible for taking her mother, or persons at this point. Yeah, it was very specific. And she even said, you know, you can always do the right thing. There's always time to do the right thing. And she made that very clear.
And she said, the world can be cruel. I know you tried to do things the right way. Like, I guess, what do you think is going on there?
He spoke the same day.
Well,
he spoke the same day as Savannah. He sure did. Which
you
I
look
found
at
interesting.
the notes, the initial notes, there's a couple notes.
Thank
The
you
first one's
forever.
asking for
Appreciate you, babe.
asking for money, and asking for Bitcoin. Don't get law enforcement involved. They're not going to be able to help you. And then the second one came, and it was more apologetic. Hey, listen, I'm sorry, but we didn't understand or know that you.
Okay, Angela says, question, if the kidnappers weren't related to family somehow, why didn't they call in a tip that led to her retrieval and collect the reward money? Great question, right? This is another weird thing about this case. All right, they wanted money. Savannah said, we'll give you money. Just tell us where she is, or, bring her home safe. Then they came out with the note that said, well, if she died, essentially. After that, there was nothing. And that's when Savannah and the family said, well, that's okay. We still want our mother to be brought back. And you're right. Like, why not just say where she is and they could get some form of money if that was their ultimate goal? Why not? I mean, they may not get the money that they wanted, but they could get $1 million. I don't know. It's kind of perplexing, isn't it? So it does kind of make you think, well, is it someone really, really close?
Your mother was in such bad physical shape, and she's passed away, and she's buried in nature. So I think,
and that could be it as well, right, Becky? They know that there will be evidence on the body. That's why they haven't told anyone where she is. But after 6 months, the DNA and stuff is probably worn down completely at this point. So would there be much DNA if she's outside in the elements? I mean, she would have, they could still probably extract her DNA, obviously, but like touch DNA and stuff, that's going to be gone most likely at this point. DNA degrades over time, especially in the elements, the sun, the water, the heat, the UV rays, all that stuff. The note seemed to have been written in advance. Exactly. I think she passed the night she was taken from her home. I agree. It did seem to be written in advance, but the question is, why, if it was written in advance, why did it take them 2 days to get it out? You know what I mean? And it's not, this is the thing. If it was written in advance, we're thinking of a note, like on a paper. This wasn't a note on a paper. This was something that was typed essentially into a tip submit where you can stay anonymous. So it was either copied and pasted right into there or typed, and they don't know who it is. So I don't know. I don't think there's any way to transact money in today's age and get away with it. It would be difficult. It would be difficult. Body is not in one piece because the heart monitor, they took it out and destroyed it. Well, we don't know that. I mean, if you know me, like, I've worked in funeral homes, I've done cremations, and when we do cremations, we have to take the heart monitor, or the what are they called? I can't even think of the name right now. The pacemakers out because they will explode in a crematorium, and they're very easy to take out, though.
I think Savannah is probably relating that information that was in those notes to her comments?
Trying to say, I'm just going back to when she says, I know you tried to do the right things. I know you tried to do things the right way. I mean, obviously, does she really believe that? Or is that just something the FBI is telling her to say? Like, I guess I'm trying to understand what she means by that. I know you tried to do things the right way.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and put words into the Bureau. The Bureau was behind this. Again, that's speculation. Although that any statement that's made in an active investigation is usually done in conjunction with law enforcement. But what she's saying, you have to understand is,
well, even if she was buried, you know, most graves like this are not, you know, a 6 foot by 3 foot like a typical grave that you would bury someone in. If it's a shallow grave, you know, animals dig things up as well, so it's very likely. How do you go work on a game show? Well, I mean, listen, I mean, people have to go to work after they lose a loved one every day. You know what I mean? So I don't
I
fall
want
for that.
This individual to come forward. I want this individual to let us know where Nancy Guthrie is buried, so that we can recover the remains of Nancy Guthrie, if in fact she is dead, which everybody believes that that's the case. So knowing and understanding that, you know, I think what Savannah's trying to do is trying to give them an out.
That's what everyone says. It's like concrete.
She's not going to be combative, and like I said earlier, she wasn't combative. She wasn't accusatory. She's just like, hey, let's do the right thing here. And I think that's where she's going with it.
And if that second note really was written by the person responsible, the one you referenced where they basically apologized and said she's with nature now, I guess you could be dealing with someone where they have some emotion. I mean, if that's real, you could be dealing with someone who would want to maybe do the right thing. If they felt bad, if that's real, that they felt.
I wonder if, because, you know, there is rumor of, you know, Annie and Tommaso and them gambling a lot, and like you just wonder, like, did with them buying these houses and stuff, did something go really bad right with it or whatever? Ashley made a really good point in her interview with Brianna. She said that they are so laser focused on T that they probably miss crucial stuff in early days. And sometimes, you know, they're, what's the saying? They're looking at the forest instead of looking at the trees or something like that. I believe that they know what happened, but because missing the forest because of the trees, something like that. I can't remember that. I believe that they know what happened, but because of Savannah's high profile position, it would be embarrassing. And I don't like to get conspiracy. I really hate conspiracies. But that is one thing I have thought, like, if Pima County was just on this and Sheriff Doofy, he called out and said, you know, the family, people in the family are clear. And they realized that it could be, you know, someone in the family. You know, would this be too embarrassing for Savannah, for her career? I don't know. They are almost about to solve a cold case here in Canada after 20 years using familiar DNA. Police mention kids of cousins, not exactly close relatives. But here's the thing. Here's the thing with this. This guy, you know, if he has, it seems like nobody knows this guy in Tucson, right? Like, you would expect for, I thought once this video came out that they knew who he was within 48 hours. Ring, 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 calling, saying, oh yeah, that's, you know, Joe Smo from down the road, you know, he works here or wherever. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. So it's like, is this guy from Tucson? Like, somebody knows this guy. He's got a family. Somebody knows this mofo. And people talk. But what the point that I was going to make with the DNA, if this guy, again, look at the pawn shop, the pew shop that they were looking at, look at the names that they were looking at. Like I always say, it wasn't a Jeff Smith that the type of names that they were looking at. If this guy is an immigrant of any sort, a recent immigrant, that could be why people don't really know him, because you don't usually come with your entire family. You usually kind of come on your own. And that would make familiar DNA extremely hard, because you don't have that in other countries like you have in the United States and Canada. So familiar DNA is hard even with the database that, you know, people share. If you're from, you know, Afghanistan or wherever the hell, Iran, Jordan, it's going to be really difficult. And that's why I think it's been really hard to find this guy, because I don't think he has a lot of people around there that know him, number one. And number two, with the familiar DNA, if he doesn't got cousins and aunts and uncles around there, it's going to be difficult.
Felt bad in that second note.
You know, offenders, in my experience, frequently minimize their responsibility.
Yes, they did.
By saying some of the statements they said. I think one was, we never intended this. Another statement, I think it was heart related. We didn't realize how difficult it was. And they also said to her, there's nothing you could have done. To me, these are classic examples.
I don't think
of
he's wearing one of
neutralization
those masks.
and moral disengagement by the offender.
What do you mean by that?
They're trying to separate themselves. Hey, it wasn't my fault. I didn't plan. It wasn't my fault. I didn't create this. It was her health that did this. So she's the victim twice here.
And this is the thing for me. Like, I'm not stuck on this being the family. I'm just not stuck on it. But I would be lying to you if I said there's some weird things, right? Now, it could be just weird because, again, like Ashley said, they were pointing toward Tommaso in the beginning. It seemed like, at least that's what her sources said. And it points to that because they were in their house. They were specifically checking out a garage and another room in their house. They went back there, going through neighbors' campers, going in their houses, looking in their yards, combing, canvassing the neighborhood. Right? And the way that they've acted. So I would be, but you know, you got to look at Luke Daley and everything else that they've done. Are they all involved? Is none of them involved? Are they chasing dead-end leads? So it's weird. Thank you, Carmelita. Thank you for the laughing disco bit. Appreciate you. Good to see you, Miss Carmelitas. Personally, I'm not buying the ransom notes. No one does ransom notes. Way too easy to get caught. Well, again, I agree. Ransom notes is not something that's typically done in today's world, but these aren't the traditional ransom notes. This isn't the John Benet Ramsey ransom notes left at the bottom of the stairs where someone wrote. This is something that went through a tip database that is highly encrypted, and it's, even the TMZ doesn't know who puts these tips in. They're like 100% anonymous. So, it's not that type of ransom note, but it's still rare for a ransom note. Chris, thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you. Good to see you. I'm not either, but Annie's words bother me. She has used fire, smoke, and ash references, both in the card and the public statement. It's just too odd. I think they hired Luke. Ratui, I think I have something. Let me see if I can find that pic real quick.
She's a victim being kidnapped, and then she's a victim because she died when she wasn't supposed to.
So, like, they're trying to make themselves feel better by putting that out there. This wasn't my fault, kind of thing. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, some of the things is I don't think they really fully grasp what was going on here. I don't even know. And some of the things in the notes lead me to believe that maybe English isn't their first language. And the note may have been translated to them, or they may have given the information that was translated and written down by somebody else. Or it could be that they were just trying to disguise their writing. But the wording reflects someone trying to sound as though they're educated and detached. Like, I'm not the villain here. This just happened. All we wanted was the money. And I think what it's saying here, and some of my colleagues have said that she was specifically selected here. I think Savannah was the target. They knew she had money, and they went right away to her for that money.
Do you think, and Jim Clementi brought this up, do you think there's a chance that money wasn't the motive, and that, because the letters are addressed to Savannah, and the way she's reacting now in her video messages, could the motive have been to get to Savannah's emotions?
It's very possible. That's very, very possible. Apparently, she was a secondary target in my estimation. The mother, Nancy, was a secondary. I believe the primary target was Savannah.
You do believe that?
I do believe that, yes.
Yeah, especially the way these. I'm just thinking back to this latest video with Savannah that she made. That seems to lend itself to that theory that they're having her sort of like try to connect with this person in a way.
A couple of things stood out in these notes. Number one, like I said, they targeted Savannah.
I had
another thing is they knew she had.
Ratui, I have a picture somewhere of Kayla Day and some stuff of Kayla Day. I just had it a minute ago. I don't know what I did.
Financial resources. They had a slight understanding of Bitcoin. They imposed rigid deadlines, and they said there's not going to be any negotiation. Now, in the things I've been involved in, and it's been limited to this type of situation.
Maybe the sister is playing good cop, bad cop, and A's burning comments or aimed at the perp. Savannah is soft. A is saying he'll burn. I just don't think it's possible for Savannah to even fathom it's her sister, because I don't really think someone after being away from them for 20 years. You might visit them once a year, twice a year, but Savannah, you got to think about Savannah's life and Annie's life are two different. Savannah's been in New York for how many years? She is She lives a very high profile life. She interviews presidents, dictators, you know, she's got bodyguards. She's in Rockefeller Plaza every day. She's got a driver. And you've got Annie over here who is selling, jewelry and poetry basically out of her car. And she's married to this, English teacher. So their lives are completely different. No, nobody's saying that. Don't take it as that, Miss Sherry. I'm not saying she is, because success is in the eye of the beholder. Success is in the eye of the beholder. I'm just saying they live completely different lives. And I have family that's, lives in different states. I visit them occasionally and talk to them on the phone, but we don't know how our daily struggles are. You know what I mean? We don't know people's daily struggles. The DNA will show his ancestors. So, it'll show. Yeah, it will. Someone has been in CODIS. Someone has been in CODIS, but then again, mom had a hard time finding her family. Oh, it'll show if this person is, Arab or European or whatever. Yes, it will, and that's helpful. But it doesn't give, exactly who it is with familiar DNA. Not to mention that Nancy may have dotted in Savannah, and maybe Annie got upset that her mom had to go, so she could spend time in the morning bragging to Savannah and her friends. I don't believe you ever truly know anyone comes from personal experience. Maybe Nancy took out the second mortgage to help Annie rather, but maybe said no more. I don't know. Money is
but experienced
weird.
kidnappers typically negotiate. The no negotiation demand, to me, indicates someone that's inexperienced, was in panic mode, or kidnapping where money was secondary to another motive. Now, what that motive is, we kind of talked about. Was it to Savannah or something dealing with Savannah? That's a good question.
It's so interesting you say that. So, because if money was the number one motive, would you have just given up on that? Would the person have just given up when they probably could have still gotten money in exchange for the body? Or why just disappear? And
Yeah, I agree. Well, hey, listen, there's panic. There's panic on this individual or individuals right now. Because this is no longer just a kidnapping, it's a murder. And that's not good for the person or persons that were involved in this.
I was muted. We're going to go to Megan Kelly.
Quality, so to say that's multiple laboratories, well, that makes it sound like, wow, they're working even harder and getting these particular tests done.
There.
They really just
that rings so true, Fitz.
Quantity over quality is a lot of people's excuses for making themselves or whatever the hell they're doing look right. So the bottom line is, I don't.
A lot of people have, pointed at Cameron, but I don't see Cameron doing this at all. I really don't. Cameron would have coordinated search parties because he's in the military background. Do you guys suspect Cameron? See, I don't at all. like at all. Zilch.
I don't know if it's 2 labs, 4, 10. I think Maureen and I earlier tried to explain they do have different levels of experience and expertise at these labs, but it's really just find the one right lab and the multiple teams of these genealogists, familial genealogists that can then take that to the next step. That's what we need here. And again, this may in fact solve the case, but we can be talking about hundreds of separate samples of DNA, of touch DNA throughout that house. I'm sure they gave it up and opened the house up within 3 or 4 days. And, they were kind of criticized for that. And I said, yeah, we better go back in and start swabbing.
And that's the thing, right? There is, most of you agree. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't. There's a picture of him smiling on the first or second day at the back gate. Yeah. I think he knows more, like I think Savannah does, and they're just staying quiet. This is the thing, like, when they opened up that house, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare that Sheriff Doofy did. I'll never forgive him for that, because when he said, I cannot believe the sheriff said this, when he said, the question was, are you afraid that, if this goes to trial, you open the house up and then you let the FBI, and he's like, we'll let prosecutors worry about that. If you're a good sheriff, you're trying to make the prosecutor's job a lot easier.
The entire house, and that's what they did. And these are now all the samples they have, and they're hoping that they get the right hit they want. And they're also looking at surveillance, they said. I'm not sure if that means tag readers and other type of technology such as that in the Tucson area. I'm hoping they're looking at all that. I was hoping that was done the first 48 hours. But so far, no dice, as they say, no resolvement.
So here's another update. We reached out to the FBI to find out the status of the investigation. They punted to the Pima County Sheriff's Department saying any update will come from them, and kind of suggested that's who's still running herd on this. It's not the FBI that's there, still in an assistance capacity, but this is not an FBI case. And I think my impression is the FBI really wants us to know that. Like, they're not going to say that on the record. Like, we wish it was us, and it's not us, it's these guys, and we don't have faith in these guys. But I'll just tell you, that's my impression, that they have a frustration with the Pima County Sheriff's Department. That's, again, my opinion.
You know what contradicts
but
that,
then
though,
they
Megan?
also did tell us that there's no more Nest video coming.
Well, who was it the other day, Ratui, that said, I don't know if it was Brian or someone else. No. It was, I can't think of her name. She was a reporter in Arizona, and then she went with the true crime junkies. She said, when we got there, she's like, we could just walk up to the house. She said that, there was no tape at all. And think about this. He's right. Touch DNA is everywhere. You have DNA in your home that you have no idea about, right? People from, like, this hair that was found, that's nothing. Whose hair is it? Was it a blonde hair? Was it a black hair? Or was it a red? Was it, like a beard hair or a pube hair or what?
Yeah, that piece of the investigation is done, because it was the FBI that was the biggest contribution that was made to this case by anybody, and the FBI found it working with Google. Because Nancy did not pay for a subscription to the Nest camera services where they would hold all the videos and not delete them. So this was on just some random server, the pictures of the guy on the porch about to get deleted. And thank God the FBI went to Google and said, can you search? Is there any way?
If the FBI, think about this. If the FBI would have not gone to Google, we wouldn't have this guy. We wouldn't even have this. Sheriff Doofy would be a finger up his ass right now. He would have nothing. And he's like talking bad about cash. We would have nothing. And Sheriff Doofy didn't even want to put this guy out.
Of finding something. And then they did on February 10th, apparently right before it was going to be deleted by the automated system and overwritten. So in any event, it's official. No more Nest camera videos are coming out. And the official word is what they have is the videos we saw of the guy the night he took Nancy, or we believe he took Nancy, and one still shot from 3 weeks earlier. You remember he looked very much the same, but not identical. And this guy looked a little darker. And so there's one, he clearly cased the joint 3 weeks earlier, Maureen, and he came back on February 1st and appears to have taken her. So that's where things stand with the feds in this investigation.
Can I make one point? If you look at that latest video from Savannah, on the very last image it says, if you have any information, and the phone number and the contact info is the FBI. It doesn't even say the Pima County Sheriff, which I found very interesting and in contradiction slightly to
I'm going to pop that up.
What the FBI told you guys when you reached out.
Well, and I also wonder whether that's Savannah. Like, who knows? The only chance of solving this is to have the FBI receiving the phone calls and taking in the leads, and not Sheriff Nanos, who told our friend, the podcaster, that he hasn't had contact with Savannah in a long time. He said, she's got my number, she's got people, but like it does not appear that they are doing even weekly updates with one another anymore, which is probably why she did put out that video. Now, I do have a couple questions for you guys about that video. Can we just watch it? Let's just watch it again, because there's a couple of comments in there that we should discuss. Here we go.
I'm coming on today with a very specific message. It has been months since our mom was taken from us. Our family is in agony. We are in a nightmare that will not end. Nothing about our situation has changed.
Okay.
We have done our part, and we will never stop looking for her.
Okay, right here. So this was on Facebook or Twitter. For everyone saying Kayla Day is not related to Nancy Guthrie, Ann Pritchard Hansen is Savannah Guthrie's late aunt, her late father's side. Ann had a granddaughter named Terry Stauffer. Terry had a daughter named Kayla Day, not related to Nancy Guthrie. Annie G. Pritchard Hansen, 69, of Mesa, a retired teacher, died March 30th, 1999. She was born in Harlan, Kentucky, which is where Nancy's from, and was a member of Kappa Kappa Gamma. Survivors include her husband, Wayne, daughter, Terry Stauffer, there you go, sons, John, Clyde, Joe, Jeff, and Paul, brother, Clyde Guthrie. Damn, there you go, Clyde Guthrie, we know that name. Wow. And 17 great-grandchildren. Services 11 a.m. Tuesday, Mountain View Memorial Garden, 7900 East Main Street, Mesa. Contributions is Hospice of Valley, 1510 East Flower Street. That's interesting. But sometimes you don't know people are related either. You know what I mean? That's a little weird. Thank you, Green Eyes. Appreciate you, my dear, for the clutch. Appreciate you. Yeah. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, let me take this down. Screenshot. There you go. Kayla's mother has come out and said there's no relation. I know. Maybe she doesn't know. I think. That's what I thought too, but I mean, look at it. Okay, let me think of this 1 second. For everyone saying Kaylee Day is not related to Nancy Guthrie, Ann Pritchard Hansen is Savannah Guthrie's late aunt, her late father's sister, which was Clyde Guthrie. Ann has a daughter named Terry Stafford. Terry has a daughter named Kayla Day, related by marriage. So it's not like a blood relation. It would be marriage, right? If you
We
will.
will always ache for her and feel that hole in our hearts. The world can be a cruel and unforgiving place, and I know that you have tried to do things the right way. So I'm asking you, begging you, to do the right thing now. Make the right choice. Help us find her. Tell us where to look for her. I truly believe it is never too late to do the right thing. Help us bring this situation to an end. For all of us, no matter where we've been and what we've done, I believe there is always a way home. Please make the right choice.
Okay, Fitz. As our linguist, what do you make of her message?
What is very clear in that message to me is 2 words. You won. I think this was a personal grievance. The whole kidnapping of, I should say abduction of Nancy. And in so many words, they're actually in specific words, a nightmare that will not end, agony, the ache for her, which of course no one is denying is true on the Guthrie family part. But she's basically saying, you've made your point. You've done your thing. You showed us. Then she didn't use those words, didn't make it confrontational, then kind of backed off and said, look, please do the right thing. Actually said that at least 2 times. There's always a way home. And it's clear now, and I'd like to believe that Nancy is still alive and among us too, but the odds are she is not. And all they're asking for at this point are some kind of GPS coordinates of where perhaps the body could be found. Nothing more, nothing less than that, and give the family some sort of closure. But essentially, this is a concession on the family's part, and it may have been hinted at in earlier messages. And I do believe the FBI and probably the profilers, some of them who I trained back in the day, they helped her craft this. She's smart enough, clever enough, she can put the words together herself, but they made sure that they were framed in certain contexts so not to offend anyone. She basically paid him a compliment. You did your thing, but we're still hurting. You won. Please at least give us this part, and we'll all move on from there. Meaning, tell us where Nancy can be found.
Yeah, she's like, tell us where to look, because again, Sheriff Doofy and them, they're not really looking. He's trying to say, like, she's trying to find the better angels of this perpetrator, right? You won. You did this to my mother, but we still need her back. Tell us where to look. Give us something. We still can think that, she can find her way home, but we need you to tell us.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it is interesting when you think back to the fact that the ransom notes were addressed to Savannah, right? We've learned that over the past couple months, that the 2 ransom notes, or at least one of them, was addressed Dear Savannah.
She's in chat,
So
LS.
it does appear she was at the heart of this crime. She, the daughter, and her fame, her celebrity, and obsession, her money, we don't know. We don't know what the motive was, but again, here she comes out and
you're right. Like, whoever it is, she's not going to tell, because a body can hold DNA and it would probably lead them to them. But okay, so here's the thing though, right? You're absolutely right. But let's say this was just ransom and everything went off without a hitch, right? Everything went good. Okay. Well, Nancy, if she was given back alive, you could say Nancy could tell you what kind of car they drove, probably, maybe, or, you know, what the room looked like she was being held in, what the person's voice sounded like that was talking to her, any hints of anything that she knew, right? That could lead back to the perpetrator, right? So, yeah, you could in theory. You know, they're not going to give Nancy's body back because of DNA, but you could, you know, whether she's dead or alive, you could get information. And it's been 6 months. I mean, there's probably not a lot of this perpetrator's DNA left wherever she's at. 45 minutes in the house is not normal for abduction for ransom. It's not. It's not. But we also have to remember the 45 minutes doesn't mean they were inside the house, right? They were on the property, right? They were on the property for 45 minutes. Brenda says, I think Derek is involved in the first ransom. Same hoax as the text. He never asked for a different form of payment from that note, and all communication stopped when he was arrested. Well, no, there's been other, I mean, you know, the TMZ and stuff. It depends, you know, how you look at that. It is an interesting that on her show they did a special about returning home. Yes, Quincy. And the only way I can think of this being just a random person is if this person was watching television that day, you know, watching the morning news or whatever, and thought, wow, I didn't know Savannah Guthrie's mother lived down the street from me or in the same town from me. And that was what, September of last year, I think it was October of last year. And then they thought, oh, let me, you know, do this ransom thing or whatever. And they researched her and kind of followed her over the last few months, because you got to remember January 11th, couple, you know, months out from October. That's like the only way. Or the what is it? The you know, like a restaurant worker, or maybe a former restaurant worker. You know, because, you know, the obviously Nancy was in the restaurant, Annie was in the restaurant, Savannah was in the restaurant, the crew was there, potentially. And restaurant staff get out quite late in the wee hours. And remember, they were all seen at the restaurant. Yes. Yeah. I don't believe it's random, in my opinion. I think it's less likely to be random, right? I think the reward money that hasn't been collected could be a clue. They are afraid to take the money, possibly because it's someone close to her. But but then you have to look at it like this. Either this was for ransom or it wasn't for ransom. right? Like, this was clearly thought out and put together, right? This was clearly thought out and put together. 2 weeks prior, they were on her porch. And if it was for ransom, you gotta think about how you're going to collect that money and keep that money. And if it's not for ransom, then what was the whole point of them doing this? It's either for money or it's not. Right? Chad is on a roll tonight. So many interesting perspectives and opinions. Yeah. Yeah. But here's the thing as well. If it is for money, hold on, let me think of this. Well, they're willing to give money even just to get her body back as well, right? So why wouldn't you take the money? Why wouldn't you take the money? You're getting maybe $500,000 to just say where she's at. That's what makes this a very unique case. I have been wondering for months if Tommaso had a brother, and somebody communicated on one of Monk's videos that he did indeed have a brother that lives in Italy. Yes, he does. He does. I don't know if you ask these 10-year-olds, since Noah only had his family with him, 1 million gazillion children, all related. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Brenda. Appreciate your jewels, darling. Thank you very much. Yes. Yes, he is. And, think about that. Think about that. He's, obviously money's going to be involved, right? Was he? Nano says he's not clear. So, yeah, $2 million. So is he, if he's not involved, well, he's getting money. And if he, let's say he would be involved, I'm not saying that he is, he wanted money. I think the money was an afterthought meant to distract. I believe the real motive was revenge against Nancy or a member of the family. I do too. I don't think the ransom, I just don't think this. I think there could be a motive for money in this, but I don't think it was for ransom. Someone said she might have already paid the money for information on where her mother's body is, and that is why we've done our part. I don't think so. I don't think so, because I think if they would have put money and it would have been removed, I think they would know a lot more, because that money has to be transferred into some sort of bank account to use it, right? If we could figure out how to kidnap someone for ransom, wouldn't they be able to figure out how to collect the ransom? Exactly. So it's got to be like one or the other. Right, but why wait till now to sue? Doesn't make sense. You mean with like Carlos?
Annie's not there. The brother's not there. It's just Savannah on cam, once again saying we're in agony. It's almost like, to your point, Fitz,
I think
I want you to know you've succeeded.
Female.
I'm in utter agony. You've succeeded in seriously hurting me, and I remain extremely hurt.
I agree.
Like, this is something the guy needs. This is something she and the FBI have calculated will be helpful for him to hear. Maybe not to have pity on her, but as you put it, to believe he's been victorious. You know, I don't know that he's going to have pity on her because he stole her mother and apparently killed her or allowed her to die. But like, if he feels he's won, you know, if he feels like she had rejected him by not responding to his letters that she may or not.
I mean, I think the ransom letter is to throw people off, because remember what it says. We'll give you 7 days. Nobody's going to wait 7 days for a ransom. And like someone said the other day, you know, people's got to get back to real life. This guy, porch guy, right? He only did this on the weekends. Whether it was January 11th or February 1st, this was only done on the weekends. If this guy works a regular Monday through Friday, like a lot of people, well, he can't have Nancy in a house, you know, there by herself. So he's got to get back to work. He's got people that knows him. Everyone's got responsibilities of some sort, right? So, and then he says in the letter, we'll get her back to Tucson. Well, is that to just throw people off, right? How did you get Nancy out of Tucson? And they not find this on some sort of camera? And why would they write a letter basically saying that she passed away and buried with nature? Kidnappers don't do that. No, not at all. They either hung out or left and forgot something and came back. Do you think he was dropped off? Who was dropped off? Like the kidnapper? Like the kidnapper, like, was he dropped off at the house and someone could have picked him up later? Perhaps. It is. It's a very baffling case. That's why it's gotten so much attention.
I've told the audience before, when I had my very bad erotomaniac stalker, who got a very, very serious sentence for this case, he not only was he contacting me directly, but he was leaving letters for me all over Washington, D.C., like in National Cathedral, at the CIA HQ, or, you know, outside of it. Like,
you would think.
And thinking I was receiving these. You know, this is not ordered thinking. So, right. So this guy may have felt rejected by Savannah because she didn't respond to a letter he left, you know, at ABC headquarters instead of NBC. Who the hell knows? But I see what you're saying. Like,
but stalkers, they're lone wolves, right? It's only a single. Now, we only know of Porch Guy. And I only think Porch Guy did this. I don't think there was multiple people in the house that night. I do think this guy was either paid or had some other help, whether it was a driver or, you know, someone to help him out a little bit. But I don't think he is alone in this. I just don't think he's alone in this. Like Megan, she had, you know, some weird ass stalker. It's a lone guy. You know, other people don't they don't share the same fantasy. So you don't get this other dude and be like, hey, you know, I've got this creepy ass fantasy of this person. You want to join? You know, it just doesn't work like that.
it's her, like.
And to me, like the Bitcoin and stuff, that tells me it's probably someone under 40. To me, it looks under 40 anyways. Bitcoin, like I say, you don't really see, a 75-year-old talking about Bitcoin as much as you would someone younger.
Forgive the term, but like showing the belly. Like, okay, uncle, I give up. You've beaten us. Just throw us a bone now. But the one thing, Maureen, and I'd love to get your thoughts on all that too, but we have to discuss the phrase, we've done our part. We've done our part. What does that mean?
When I heard that, and when I talked about it to the other homicide detectives on my podcast, Tim Murphy, one of the investigators, said, it sounds to me like they paid the ransom, because we've all talked before about, we know that some of these notes, we know about these notes that were sent to TMZ and to other places, but we also knew that there was a possibility that some notes made it to Savannah without being, presented to these live outlets where everyone would hear about them. So I'm wondering, and I wanted to ask,
do y'all think Savannah paid the ransom?
Fitz, actually, is there a chance that she did receive information from the offender and did in fact pay the part of the ransom or pay what they asked, and now she said, hey, we've done our part.
It seems like she's frustrated.
Step up and do what you said you were going to do.
And since you're asking me, Maureen, yes, of course there's a chance for that. We have no evidence or information to us on the outside, and Megan and Brianette and other people have some pretty good sources. I think that information would have come across. What exactly Savannah meant by we did our part, that is unclear, but at least she's probably responding to one of these communications that came in, hoping against hope that the person who actually took her mother was the one responsible for at least one of those communications. I know we're calling them notes, whatever, whether they came to Savannah, the media, what have you. But to me, it's still inconclusive.
What else could it mean? We did our part. I mean, to me, it's like we're willing to me, it's, I don't think she paid. But to me, because remember the reporting was that they should have, there was reporting that they probably should have paid in the beginning. I don't think she's paid. I think that we did our part is we're willing to pay as long as you tell us where our mom is so we can get her back. TMZ dude said she didn't pay. I bet Savannah would pay at least something despite yeah, exactly. She said that they're willing to pay for, our mom's dead body to get her back. I mean, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
That they were in fact legitimate ransom demands by the person who we saw on the next camera take Nancy. So she's still saying she responded and did everything that she's supposed to do. So please, quid pro quo, whoever you are, whether you wrote these letters, notes, communications or not, tell us where our mother is. That's all we're asking.
Right.
But the interesting thing about we've done our part, I agree with your friend Maureen, the homicide detective. That's how I heard it too. Like, did they pay? Did they belatedly pay the $6 million like this week? And that's why she pops up to say,
okay, we're going to come right back to this in a minute, but I want to show you this. This is, I want to know this from you guys. Right here we have it. This is DNA that they are collecting from Luke Daley, his DNA. Why were they requesting it in May? Why are they requesting it in May? I would pay if it was my family. If you don't, then you wonder for the rest of your life. Yeah. But the problem is he got quiet. He very quiet afterwards. What if Nancy had money and they got what they wanted and offed her, then dumped her somewhere? What if Nancy had money? But there's nothing to say that they got any money though, Horsey, or of anything of even of value. I mean, think about it. This guy came in with a full backpack full of stuff and left, I'm assuming, with the backpack full of stuff, right? Most people who are like going to rob someone, they're going to leave with come in with an empty backpack and leave with the full backpack. I thought they only had a strand of hair from the crime scene. Well, they had other DNA as well. I think she paid the one from TMZ was talking about paying in bitcoins. The TMZ was going to pay for the yeah. He has he goes to trial in August. August is his trial date. Cosmic, his trial was meant to be in May, but got postponed to August. Yeah. I don't know. This is weird to me. It's weird to me. With Luke, when it comes to Luke, I just think there is, I mean, is it a coincidence that he says that he lives really close to Nancy and that he wrecked his car and he got a new Range Rover with, what is it? He got a new Range Rover within the week of him, all of this going on. Maybe was a cooler backpack with the plastic insert and was empty. It was stuff going out. No, but there was nothing taken. There was nothing taken of Nancy's. Have we discussed why they suddenly... Well, this is the thing. Shouldn't they already have his DNA? He's a felon. Yes. That's exactly why I figured that they were going in for his DNA to begin with. Yes. The day after KD. Yes. Mm-hmm. They have his fingerprints, but not saliva or hair. Let's look. Is it standard for... to take DNA of felons in Arizona? AI says yes, it is standard and legally required under Arizona law ARS 13610. Every adult convicted of a felony offense in the state must submit a biological sample, such as an oral cheek swab or blood, for DNA testing and inclusion in the state database. Collection rules and timeline. Who it applies to: any adult conviction of felony alongside specific juvenile adjudications and certain felony arrest. Deadline: collection must generally occur within 30 days of sentencing, arrival of a corrections facility, or placement on probation. So Zach didn't know Nancy, but knew all the circumstances around the case. Every title, Zach and Luke's. Dude, I don't know. Pima County or FBI. Well, then again, who brought him in, Pima County or FBI? FBI was on that one. They would still need a warrant for a new DNA sample. I mean, they may be doing it just for, I mean, maybe they're doing it just because it's a new felony. But you'd think they already have it. Why pay for it again? You know what I mean? Like, why pay for it again? Hey, darling, good to see you. Wait, I bet their DNA request... Does it say how? Let me look what this says. And no, it's a buccal swab. Buccal swab. Cheek. It's a buccal swab. So I don't know. It's just weird to me. 'Cause it says right here, it is hereby ordered that the defendant, Luke Anthony Daley, submit to taking of his DNA buccal swab, in parentheses. It says for discovery purposes. There we go. For discovery purposes. What are you trying to discover, Hanny? For discovery purposes. For discovery purposes. Well, discovery is... Let me see what it says here. Let me look at this. What does DNA discovery purposes mean? Okay. DNA discovery purposes generally refers to using genetic testing or DNA analysis to uncover information, find facts, or investigate a specific question, such as legal, medical, or ancestry context. And that is coming from the American Bar Association. Legal and investigative discovery, finding evidence used in a civil or criminal case where DNA profiling helps uncover facts or identify a person. This is interesting. He was caught red-handed by law enforcement, so why? That's exactly right. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, why would they need this mofo's DNA? You know, like, it's drugs that he was caught for with that. They don't need his damn DNA for that. They would get his DNA after he went to prison or jail. But this is before all of that. Yeah, Brenda, very interesting. Remain stable and unique if you throughout your entire life. Yeah. And he had a pew and he is a felon, so he's not allowed to have that on him as well. Yes. That's exactly right. Let me look at this. Let me see here. I don't know. I just can't get over this mofo. I really can't. Like, there's just too much there with Luke, in my opinion. I just don't think the FBI is going to break this guy's door down and take his damn car. Care less if they order 10 DNA tests because you don't want any appeals. No. I mean, of course. I mean, you can't get enough DNA, right? If he's been very quiet, so his attorney. Maybe they are trying to reconstruct what mixed DNA with. I mean, I think that they. Yeah.
And That's it.
Explain to me what happened on the night you were detained, where you were, you're with your car. How did that unfold in your eyes?
So I was driving home. I noticed two sheriff vehicles following me. They pulled me over at the Culvers right there. Asked me to get out of the car. Didn't tell me what it was about.
See, I don't think he's the porch guy, though. I don't think he's the porch guy. Do y'all? But he's fucking nervous as hell. I hate that he shaved his goatee. His eye has a big old lump on it, yeah. He really looks like the porch guy. Also, why is he dressed up like that? There's just a lot of weird things with his cars, and they paid for it in cash, put it in his mama's name. Like, he looks too chubby for porch guy. Yeah, exactly, Cassie.
So they had me cuffed in the back of a cop car, detained. I was asking, like, what am I being detained for? And they wouldn't tell me anything. They just said that
his anxiety is so high here. He's not even breathing. He's got very shallow breath. The whole thing is a weaponizer. I mean, for him to say that he didn't know where Nancy lived, it's literally, I mean,
detectives would be there to talk to me. And once I saw like FBI and all the other cars start pulling in, I'm like, oh, this is probably about the Guthrie case. I'm like, this should be easy. Like, I have nothing to do with this, so it should be not a big deal to clear my name and move on. But the whole time during the questioning, didn't really seem like more of like a fishing expedition for them to try to get me to say something, because
you mean the insurance company?
All the dates I was telling them where I was, things like that. I'm like, all you'd have to do is look at my phone and see my location. It was nowhere near anywhere or have any.
See, I don't like I just noticed that the way he said that. He's like, all you would have to do is look at my phone. I wasn't anywhere, or how did he say that?
Like more of like a fishing expedition for them.
Hold on.
My name and move on. About the Guthrie case, I'm like, this should be easy. Like, I have nothing to do with this, so it should be not a big deal to clear my name and move on. But the whole time during the questioning, didn't really seem like more of like a fishing expedition for them to try to get me to say something, because all the dates I was telling them where I was, things like that. I'm like, all you'd have to do is look at my phone and see my location. It was nowhere near anywhere or have any connection to this.
He doesn't say where he was. He's like, all you would have to do is see my location. I wasn't anywhere. And then he just continues on with that. It's like, why don't you say where you was? Like, where were you that night? Just the way he's dressed, it was 100 degrees outside. Yeah. The way, I think you mean the way he's dressed. Mm-mm. Oh, me too. But he won't even say where he was. He's like, all you have to do is look at my phone. Well, where were you? Like, I wish she would have asked, So, Luke, where were you the night Nancy went missing on, the 31st and the night of, the 1st into the early hours of the morning? Were you at your home? Were you, at a club? Were you, in Walmart? Like, where were you?
But still, it was tough, like, being there. Like, I mean, I don't trust the FBI to the extent that I'm, like, thinking that there's pressure on this case and they want to find the person. So, like, the whole time while I'm sitting in the back of the cop car, I'm, like, panicking.
Again, this is the weirdest part of the interview for me. How did they find Kayla to get arrested? She was arrested the day before. Thank you, Patty. Appreciate the gold coin, baby. Thank you so much. Good to see you, hun. I think Luke was not involved, a few reasons, but he is the one I would be shocked to find out if he was involved. Oh, he's definitely nervous. But what gets me about him is if I was pulled over, I don't care. I would not think they were pulling me over for Nancy Guthrie. I don't care if I lived in the town or whatever. I would not think that they were pulling me over for Nancy Guthrie. And I wouldn't be like, there's high profile on this, so they're going to pick me out of everybody in this town and pressure it on me. I just would not think that. Okay, Sassy. Let me look at it. Listen how he says that.
Things like that. I'm like, all you'd have to do is look at my phone and see my location. It was nowhere near anywhere or have any connection to this. But still, it was tough, like, being there. Like, I mean, I don't trust the FBI to the extent that I'm, like, thinking that there's pressure on this case and they want to find the person. So, like, the whole time while I'm sitting in the back of the cop car, I'm, like, panicking, thinking that I'm going to be framed for this or they're trying to pin this on me somehow.
Did they tell you what led them to you? I mean, something.
I mean, I would be like, mofos, listen, let me just show you right here, because I will scream it from the rooftops that it was not me. I will show you, I will easily prove to you that it was not me, because I was in my house. My mammy was there. My auntie was there. My third generation grandmama was there. I would show them real quickly. I don't get this. Catherine, thank you so much for the clutch. I appreciate you very much, dear. I will tell you where I was that evening, what I did that evening, what I ate that evening, everything. I don't get this.
Made them believe they needed to talk to you about it. What was that?
I asked them. They didn't tell me any information about that. And I have thought of any type of reason why they could have come after me. But there's nothing. And I think that's why they didn't tell me.
Were you in the area of the home at the time, like the overnight, or would it have been something like, we've tracked this person near the abduction scene?
I live near her house, but I mean, I didn't even know that until after the fact. Like, I barely just learned where her actual house was in relation to mine. So I didn't even know.
Had you ever met her?
No.
Did you know who she was?
That is something.
I knew who she was because my mother was following the case. But in terms of other than that, I would just go off what my mother was telling me.
And so how long were you detained for?
Probably maybe 4 or 5 hours.
In the back of that car the whole time? And they searched your Range Rover extensively?
Yeah, they searched Range Rover. They towed my Range Rover. Did all DNA testing or whatever, and then gave it back to me. Took my cell phone. I've had no way to get a hold of anyone, which is probably a good thing because everyone's looking at me like I'm this person that I'm not. So it's been rough.
You got your car back?
Yes.
In rough condition, or was it okay?
Well, when I went to pick it up, like it wouldn't start. They, I guess they drained the battery down, and it was just covered in the whatever white substance that they use for testing. But yeah, then I got it started up, and it wasn't. Luckily, it wasn't damaged in terms of like repairs or anything. But
so when they released you, what did they say? They say you're free? Did they say never mind? I mean, what was the verbiage there from them?
Exactly.
They had just told me that they were still at my house, so I couldn't go home. But they drove me somewhere near the house and just dropped me off. I was like, "Well, I don't have a phone. How?"
I mean, here's the thing. And you're exactly right, Rescue Dog Mama. I still can't get over what was in the warrant that caused them to detain Luke Daley. They had to have some sort of evidence or suspicion. I mean, you can't go off just suspicion alone for a warrant, right? It's got to be something that links up. And I agree. To me, Luke looks too heavy. And his lips are very thin. But I hate that he took his goatee off and stuff. Absolutely. I mean, it could be even he loaned out his vehicle that night. I don't know, but I don't think so because they gave it back pretty quickly.
Am I supposed to figure out when I can go back to the house? They basically said you're just gonna have to figure that out. So I mean, I waited just where they dropped me off at for maybe an hour or so. I had a friend that lived near the area, and I walked over there. They weren't home, so I was just waiting, like basically just on their patio.
Lovey, you missed the video that I showed the other night about those. They're crazy, but I don't think it's a mask that this person used. I really don't. Thank you so much. Gotta be me. Appreciate you, babe. Thank you for the flower. She'll appreciate you. His body looks like Portugal to me, stocky as all get out. But to me, this guy's pretty thin. See, like he's pretty thin. And I think this guy has layers on as well. The only thing, the night vision really distorts things. Luke thinks like a criminal. He's setting the stage for an appeal. He said he was thinking they would frame him for that, and that's what he's going to scream when they arrest him. He says some weird things.
And then it got to the point where I'm like, well, they should be done by now. I walked.
I wonder if he would be willing to sit down and do another interview.
Back to my house, and this was like the worst part for me is getting there and seeing the house torn up. But the worst part was my mom not being there, and her being elderly and having AFib and things like that. I'm thinking the worst. Like I see her cars here, but she's not there, and I don't have my phone to get a hold of her. So I'm wondering what happened, if I need to start calling hospitals or what the deal was. But luckily, I guess she went to one of the neighbors, but I didn't find it out until the next day.
Right. You were detained and released, but you've said it, your face, your name, it's everywhere online. People still believe you were either involved or did this. What's that been like for you to have your name, your picture, even a past mugshot all over the internet associated with this case?
I mean, for me, it's terrible. It's hard to go anywhere, and the hard part is they're making all these assumptions based on things that have absolutely no relevance, and they're just bringing up my past, which I mean, I do have a past, but nothing violent or anything like that. All my past has just been involved with using drugs, and I haven't been in that life for over 2 years now. So all the things that they're bringing up, yeah, I guess it's public record, but it never would have came out if it wasn't for all these people speculating and doing things like that. So now people that had no idea about my past, so I've done like a good job of working past it and not having anything to do with it. So them doing that now is kind of just reopening this whole speculation and make me out to look like this bad person, which I'm not.
And it's not just been you. People have found, you know, records of an alleged girlfriend of yours. There's been a lot of rumors swirling around. What do you want to say about those rumors, about you, about her, about, you know, everybody that people have looked at and said, well, they could do this?
Yeah, first of all, that's not my girlfriend. I barely knew that girl, and I was arrested with her on a completely different
thank you for the
circumstance.
Appreciate you.
Over a year ago. I haven't talked to her since, and I guess they're just going off of the arrest, saying that I was arrested with her. So, but I hardly know her and don't associate with her. But in terms of everything else, I mean, all the speculation is just going off of, I don't even know if people really believe it, but online it just seems like they're pushing this narrative and trying to make connections with things that are, I don't know, basically like circumstantial, like saying my eyelashes match the guy in the ski mask picture, which I'm sure like if you could use anyone's picture and find similarities.
And you don't recognize the person on that, in that footage?
No, I don't. But
we'll come back to this. Thank you for that, user. Appreciate you, babe. Good to see you. All right, look at this. This is what I was showing the other night.
玄彬谁带都帅气啊！来，想看哪款空屏可以直接飘给我啊，朋友们。想看帅哥咱抠帅哥，想看美女咱们抠美女啊。正价16.9，今天咱们直播间就9.9一个啊！今天咱们直播间就9.9一个，9.9一个。来，猪八戒，俺老猪来也。师徒4人都在1号链接啊！师徒4人都在1号链接，喜欢直接去拍啊！来，给我们的一个梅西啊，梅西，看美女没有问题 ，C 罗有 ，C 罗有。
Isn't that crazy? You can buy those for like $3.
啊 ，C 罗1号链接和2号链接都有，你看你喜欢哪个款式啊？来啊，看看猴哥，来给我们那个猴哥啊，猴哥，来看美女啊，可以可以，来先给他看看猴哥啊，猴哥啊，孙悟空1号链接啊，师徒4人都在咱们的1号链接啊，朋友们，师徒4人都在1号链接。来，再来一个我们的一个小美女啊，来，这是我们的一个珍妮2啊，珍妮2，看着戴上去之后颜值嘚儿一下就提升上去了，是不是？一下子变得漂亮了很多哈，眼睛能看见，嘴巴能说话，鼻子可以呼吸啊，鼻子可以呼吸。来，这是。
Oh, sorry, I was muted. But yeah, I don't think Porch Guy. Thank you, Pam. Appreciate you, baby. Good to see you. I don't think Porch Guy has one of these on because he's got the ski mask on, and I just don't think he would do a mask and a ski mask with that on, in my opinion. Yeah. I need to know what they're saying. They are selling masks. But I recorded that the other day. I was flipping through YouTube and that came on and I was like, oh my God. Yeah, it's craziness. Absolute craziness. All right, guys. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I do appreciate you guys. I may be back here in maybe an hour. We might be talking about Summer Wells case that's going on. Part 2 of that interview came out, and so I might come back, or we may. I've also got a live on another case that we're going to be covering tonight. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Did we ever figure out the Luke Daley rental car? You mean the car that he wrecked? Is that what you mean, 503? Thank you, Ratui. Appreciate you. Oh my God, Beth, I need to see that. Can you say who? What did Beth say? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. A lot of people say he doesn't blink. He blinks. That doesn't have the mouth open in the fake mask for the light. Yeah, that as well. Yep. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate you, babe. They are weird. Thank you, 3 Pugs. Good to see you, honey. After he wrecked his car and before the Rover. Oh, I don't know. That's a good point. That's a good point. They will many times give you a rental car for a few days. Thank you, guys. Welcome, my dear. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Was that car wrecked or had something to do with Nancy? Don't know. Thank you, lads. Appreciate you. Love you guys. 2 years except for last year. All right, guys. See y'all later. Bye, everyone. Take care.